Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bad Bookers podcast. My name is Jack, and today we are going to review the greatest Royal Rumble that happened last night. Yeah, last night now. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I was going to do a review straight after the event, but I couldn't be bothered, so I decided to wait until the morning. It was the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy behind it. We're not going to go into that today because I don't want to. What's been said has already been said on many different platforms, and yeah, I'm not going to delve too far deep into it. But to start off the evening, we had an hour-long pre-show with no matches on, so that was pretty pointless. Can't really remember anything from the pre-show except for JR. And then our first match of the evening on the main show was Triple H versus John Cena, which John Cena won to get the crowd going. It was pretty obvious John Cena was going to win, just to get that big babyface pop. The crowds were well into this. They clearly know who both men were. There were some matches on the card where the crowds didn't make any noise whatsoever. But if there was two people they would have known, it would be Cena Triple H. It was decent. It was an alright match. It was very slow to start off with. It was kind of just like a dick measuring contest for most of the match. But John Cena, he AA'd Triple H and he slingshotted him into the turnbuckle, I think. Then AA'd him again. Beat him. Via pinfall. Yeah, John Cena wins. Actually wins at a pay-per-view. Next up, we had Cruiserweight title match between Cedric Alexander, the champion, and Kalisto. Cedric Alexander retained. This was a decent match. Every Cruiserweight match is just getting better and better, in my opinion. There was a lovely looking sit-out Spanish fly from Kalisto onto Cedric at some stage, and it just looked beautiful. I'm going to defend 205 Live, guys, to the hilt. The Cruiserweights are just amazing. I say this on every video about the Cruiserweights. If you're not watching 205 Live, you're missing out. But next up, we had the Raw Tag Team Champions versus D-Bar and Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, the Deleter of Worlds, I believe they're calling him now. And the Deleter of Worlds did win. Pretty obvious, as D-Bar aren't even on Raw. But Deleter of Worlds won. So Bray has got his hands on some more WWE gold or silver, if you will. I can't remember much from this match. It was this was the Cruiserweights, the Raw tag match, the US tag match, and the SmackDown tag match. Raw the crowds weren't really into. I assume they didn't. They would have heard of Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy probably, but they weren't into these matches. So, just what the crowd are obviously more into the John Cena types and the Triple H types. But yeah, there wasn't much to say about this match. It was the bog standard Raw tag team match, which Bray and Matt won. But next up, we had the US title match. Jeff Hardy is champion versus Jinder Mahal. Jeff Hardy retained. And if you have not seen the botch that they did, basically Jeff Hardy hit a whisper in the wind, and for some reason Jinder Mahal was not in position. He was somewhere else in the ring. So Jeff completely missed it. And then about 5 seconds later, Jinder Mahal just sells it. He just does a back bump and sells it. It was so weird to see. So weird to see. But it would probably be all over Twitter if you search Jeff Hardy's name. So go back and watch that. Just hilarious. Next up, we had the SmackDown Tag Team titles even with Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. The Usos got a fair bit of offense in, but Bludgeon Brothers retained. It didn't last very long once the Bludgeon Brothers got their hands on the Usos. And yeah, Bludgeon Brothers retained, like I said. It's pretty much the same as the Raw tag team matches. Nothing really to write home about. In between this, we had the 20-minute, in between the US title and the SmackDown title, we had the 20-minute prayer break for the audience. which I know some people were saying it was going to be an hour, but it didn't. In my opinion, it didn't feel like 20 minutes. They did all right in. I think they went back to like the pre-show panel, and they reviewed the evening so far. It did all right. Pardon me. But next up, we had the IC title ladder match between Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Samoa Joe. And Seth Rollins retains in some quite outstanding situation. Outstanding fashion is what I meant to say. He won by Finn was literally climbing up the ladder, about to grab the title. Seth came out of absolutely. We hadn't seen Seth for a good 5 minutes, I don't think. He's having a nap on the outside. And Seth came out of absolutely nowhere, jumped from the top rope, springboard off the top rope to the ladder, rushed up the ladder, dragged the title. Literally, as Finn was about to lift up to grab it, Seth just yanked it down, fell off the ladder, won the match. Seth Rollins retains. This was probably match of the night if you're not including the Rumble. When there's a Rumble involved, I always say match of the night was the Rumble, unless there was a match that was absolutely outstanding. Because it's a bloody Royal Rumble. No matter what happens in the Rumble, the match of the night is always the Rumble. But no, if there wasn't a Rumble, this was probably match of the night. It was very good. There's some quite good ladder spots. Every man looked fairly strong. But yeah, Seth retains and goes into Backlash. He faces the Miz at Backlash. Yes, he does. Next up, we had WWE title match. It's AJ Styles and Nakamura. Once again, it did not fulfill anything. Just going to put this out there. They've had 2 matches now, AJ and Shinsuke in WWE, and they've both flopped majorly. And we're getting a third one at Backlash. So they're 3 matches in a month. 3 dream matches in a month, pretty much. And, no, it is a month, isn't it? 3 in a month. And the first 2 flopped completely. AJ Styles retained via double count out. Shinsuke had his one spot in the match where he did a low blow after the ref was... I think AJ tried to go for the phenomenal forearm. Nakamura dodged out the way. AJ just about stopped himself before he hit the ref. The ref cowered, like holding his face. Shinsuke low blowed him. But as Shinsuke pinned AJ, he was too close to the ropes. He had his hand on the ropes. And since that point, you knew that that AJ wasn't going to... that Shinsuke wasn't going to win, even. So yeah, AJ won double count out. Sets up Nakamura winning the title at Backlash, because if he doesn't, there's no point him going for any main title. He had 2 shots at Jinder Mahal, which he lost both. That was his second shot at AJ. He's lost both. If you have him lose at Backlash, what's the point? What is the point? Next up, we had Undertaker versus Rusev. Rusev Day is no more. Not only did Undertaker bury Rusev, he buried Aiden English as well. Rusev Day is literally no more. We probably won't see Rusev for a while. I would suggest probably not see him till Royal Rumble. A surprise entrance into the Royal Rumble, I'd say. Maybe Survivor Series as a entrance into a 5v5 or something. I don't know, but I can't see that we see Rusev in a while. They've royally messed him around, haven't they? I don't think he'll leave the company, but better retire my Rusev Day shirt for a little while. Next up, we had... It was great to see The Undertaker back, by the way. No doubt in that. Nothing on The Undertaker. He looks alright. Obviously not as his old self. But this... How long was this match? It was about... From what I remember from last night, it was about 10 minutes long, I believe. I'm just looking it up now. It was definitely longer than the squash match at Mania, that was for sure. It was about 10 minutes, I believe. Let me just... Undertake 9 minutes 40, so yeah, just under 10 minutes. So he did alright, Undertaker. He let Rusev get some decent offense in, and he did all his normal spots, the Undertaker. So we know, I don't know how regularly he'll be able to do it, but we know Undertaker can wrestle a 10-minute match. So that's all good. But next up we had the absolute shambles, which was the Universal title match in a steel cage, which, even though Roman Reigns clearly won, Brock Lesnar retained. Brock Lesnar retained. Basically what happened, it was just a finisher fest or match. There was several F5s, several Superman punches, several spears. I did have them all counted, I forgot. No. Several Superman punches, several spears, several suplexes, several Superman punches. It's a Brock Lesnar match. How the guy's still champion, I'll never know. They've literally just kept the Universal title on him now for this long, just so he can beat CM Punk's records of however long he kept it for. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. But the finish, which was shambolic, Roman speared Brock through the cage. Now, the rules of a steel cage match is whoever's feet hit the floor first, if they're escaping, wins the match. Roman speared Brock through the cage. They landed on the floor with the cage underneath them. Brock's body obviously hit the floor, but with the cage in between them. The cage counts as the cage. The cage does not count as the floor. And you could clearly see the ref were like, oh shit, oh no, what's going on? And Brock's feet never touched the floor for a good 3 minutes after the decision was made, probably. Roman's feet hit the floor first. It was quite clear. It was clearly shown Roman's feet hit the floor first. But they just let Brock win, and even the commentators were like, it was because Brock's body hit the floor first. So they basically just changed up the rules, so Brock could keep the title. It's either just a stupid botch, which they absolutely messed up. Well, it's a botch, obviously they messed it up, but or it was either that, a botch, or it was meant to happen to make people mad that Roman didn't win, to then give Roman another excuse to have a title shot, probably at SummerSlam, because that's after when Punk's record goes out, I think, for then Roman to win. I think it was a botch. There was no way around how... I'm not too sure. I honestly can't think. So many conspiracies running through my head. But yeah, Brock retains. His next appearance is at... I don't know what I was looking at there. Extreme Rules, apparently, his next appearance. And we've got 2 pay-per-views in between that. Backlash and Money in the Bank, so... Cool. People want Brock as champion. He's missing 2 pay-per-views. Apparently. People don't like Roman, but at least he would defend the championship and make it, feel like a top-level championship. I said on Twitter last night, I just don't give a shit about the Universal title anymore. What's the point in it? If they're just going to let Brock have it just so they can beat Punk's record, what's the point of it? The IC title might as well be the top title on Raw, in my opinion. What is the point of it? Anyway, I'm losing track of the video. Last match was the 50-man Royal Rumble match, which had one of the best moments I think I've ever seen. It was Shockmaster 2.0. Titus O'Neil ran down to the ring, tripped on the ramp, and somehow managed to slide under the ring And Titus is what, 6'7", 6'8", and he slid all the way in the ring. Like from, you know where the crowd stop, and the barrier stops to the crowd, and then there's that gap so you can walk around the ring. He tripped from before the crowd, where the crowd stop, and slid under the ring. That is just I just can't. What a man that guy is. Give him a push. Give him a push just for that. Oh, incredible man. They replayed it about 5 times as well, and every time it just got funnier. Oh, but anyway, we had a few known people in it, like in the Rumble, like Great Khali and Rey Mysterio. We had some absolute nobodies, like people from apparently NXT, which I don't think anyone's ever seen before. We had a sumo wrestler in there to go up against Mark Henry. We had Hornswoggle. We had Roderick Strong, an actual NXT guy. We had one half of the Heavy Machinery. I forgot his name. Tucker Knight. That was it. Tucker Knight. I think that was it. The rest of the main roster people. Yeah. Anyway, Daniel Bryan entered in at number 1 and broke Rey Mysterio's records of longest time in the ring. He Iron Manned it until the final 6, I believe. 5 or 6. Where he was eventually eliminated by Big Cass. So that will set up their feud at Backlash and make it like less of a meaningless feud, I guess. It actually gives a little bit of bite to it. But the winner of the match was Braun Strowman. He won a lovely, weird-looking trophy and a belt. Braun won a belt for winning a Rumble. Don't know about this. It was a very good Rumble, in my opinion. It was just fun to watch. If I was going to say watch the pay-per-view back, I would say watch the ladder match and watch the Rumble. I mean, you could watch the rest of watch the ladder match, watch the cruiserweight match. If you just want a little bit of filler, both tag team titles in the US title match, but definitely watch the IC title match and the Rumble match. In my opinion, is very, very good. The whole event as a whole, it was alright. I had fun tonight, well last night even. It wasn't 7 hours long. It was 6 hours long, including the pre-show, which was alright. I'm happy with it. It didn't feel like 6 hours long, to be fair, because in the UK the pre-show started at 4 p.m. So by the time the event finished, it was 10 o'clock. It was time for bed. Like, we didn't lose any sleep. Which, do more, WWE. Not necessarily in Saudi Arabia, after all the controversies, but do more, I'd say. Do more. UK-friendly pay-per-views. But yeah, Braun Strowman had won a belt for the Rumble. But I'll run through the results once again. John Cena beat Triple H. Cedric Alexander retained against Kalisto. The Leader of Worlds beat the Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. Jeff Hardy retained the US title. Bludgeon Brothers retained the SmackDown Tag titles. Seth Rollins retained the IC title. AJ Shinsuke finished in a double countout, which AJ retains. Undertaker buried Rusev. Brock Lesnar somehow, in a botched fashion, retained against Roman. And Braun Strowman won the greatest Royal Rumble. If you want to see the results of our predictions, they're all on our Twitter page. There is a vote to see who the outright winner is. There was 2 who tied for the outright winner, and there was one definite forfeit. One definite person doing the forfeit even. speak in English. It's too early. I've just woken up. Leave it out. If you go over to @BadBookersWP on Twitter, one of the top tweets will be a poll where you can vote for either Matt or myself, as we both got 7. Was it in the end? 7 out of 9 we both got. 7 out of 10 even, sorry. Count maths, I don't know how to count. We got 7 out of 10 predictions right. Matt got the Rumble right, so he must feel a bit hard done by if he wins the whole Rumble and he gets a point, but I don't care. But yeah, if you want to go over there, vote for either Matt or myself. Smoothman is doing the forfeit, but you can see how the night played off in our predictions over on our Twitter @BadBookersPodcast. If you want any questions answered about the Greatest Royal Rumble, leave them in the comments below and we'll do them on next week's podcast. This week's podcast is out. It came out Thursday night. You can go check it out on iTunes. Links will be down in the comments like I usually do. And yeah, other than that, Greatest Royal Rumble. Enjoyable night. There was some fuckery, but it was an enjoyable night. But I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to ask you if you want to subscribe to the channel. If you like this, please do. And please like the video and leave your little review in the comments, I guess. And I shall speak to you again Monday Night Raw, I guess. Thank you and goodbye.